Okay. So let me share my screen to continue. So we are discussing about the reveal preference, and in reveal preference, we have discussed about the principle. First of all, what is reveal preference? Why we need it? What is the importance of reveal preference in our real life? And then how can you explain reveal preference? Directly reveal prefer to, what does it mean? And then the principle of reveal preference, and finally indirectly reveal preference. Okay, so that much we have discussed. Now today we are going to discuss about recovering preference. Look what we are doing here. Actually, here our objective is to draw the indifference curve. Okay, here our objective is to draw the indifference curve. Very simple. We don't know, as you know, that in case of reveal preference, the information about the indifference curve is not given to us. We have to find it out. Only the information about the choice of the consumer is given, that is x star y star given m, p and p1 p2, that has been given to us, but no, nothing else. So from there we have to find out the shape of the consumer's indifference curve, right? So here what we are doing, initially the budget line, say this black one. Okay, this is the budget line, given the income, price, this and that. This is our budget line. Now given this budget line, your x and y is given to you. Okay, that information is given to you. If the income of the consumer is this, if price of x1 is this, if price of x2 is this, then what will be chosen by the consumer, that has been given to you. So you know that point is here. Given this budget line, the point of consumption is here. Now
Ma'am,
what? Yes.
ma'am, could you repeat? I got disconnected at this point.
Okay, fine. I'm telling ki, in case of reveal preference, it is said that income of the consumer is this, price of x1 is this, price of x2 is this, and given m x1, price of x1 and price of x2, what will be chosen by the consumer? That information is also given to you. That is x star and y star. So these things are informed. Okay, so what we don't know, we don't know what will be the preference pattern, what will be the pattern, or rather what will be the shape of the consumer's preference, what will be the shape of his indifference curve, that we don't know. Okay, only that x star x star x star y star and that budget line is given, that much. So given this budget line, you know that is his consumption point. Okay, so here our objective is to find out the shape of his indifference curve. Just a minute. Is there anyone waiting? Yes. So here we are going to find out the shape of the indifference curve of the consumer. Here we will try to draw the indifference curve of the consumer. So given this black budget line, we know that is the consumption combination of the consumer. Now what we are doing, we have just changed his budget line. Let's say income has changed, the price of x and y has changed and all, so that the budget line is now the flatter one, right? Now given this flatter one, again given this new budget line, the x star and y star information will also be given. So says it is here. Say that point is here. So it is here, anywhere on the budget line. Now what we are getting, actually, look, if I concentrate on the first point, if I just look at the first point, so what is the information I am getting? That above this point, above this particular point is more preferred to the consumer, and below this particular point is less preferred to the consumer. Do you agree with me? Is it okay to you? say x star and y star
Yes,
at
ma'am.
this point is given to you. I'm repeating. Say x star and y star given this point is given to you. So given this x star and y star and the position of your budget line, what information you can understand? You can understand that any point above this x star y star, that means here or here or here, wherever, above this x star y star is more preferred to the consumer. That you know. Because it will have either more of x1 or more of x2 or more of x1 and x2. So definitely all points above this x star y star are more preferred to the consumer. Similarly, any point below this x star or y star is less preferred to this particular point. So you are just getting a region. So only this information you can understand. So do you understand me? Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Yes. So now, so we just find out a range. We just find out the area, not the range, the area. The area which is more preferred to that point and which is less preferred to that point. Okay, fine. So we are happy with that. Now what we are doing, we have changed the position of the budget line. How it is, say px1 is changed, px2 is changed, the ratio is changed, whatever be the reason behind that, I have just shifted the budget line and now it is a flatter one. Now, given the position of the new budget line, again you will get the information that if, say, if you are asking the consumer if price of X is reduced and price of Y is increased, then which combination of X and Y you are going to consume. So he will give you the information. So given his information, your new X star Y star is here. So if you join, let me draw it. Just a minute. If you join this point with this point like this, I'm just joining, look, a straight line, I'm just joining this point with this point. So I'm getting a straight line, nothing else. I'm getting a straight line. So I can understand that any point above this straight line is more preferred to the point on the straight line, and any point below the straight line is less preferred to the point on the straight line. Okay. Now again,
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am, can you please repeat?
Yes, I'm telling ki when I'm getting the information of this particular point, so I can understand any point above the point is more preferred to this point, any point below this point is less preferred to this point. And the same logic is true for this particular point when I am getting the flatter budget line. So now what I am doing, now I have joined the first point and the second point. So it will be a straight line. Okay. Now I can say any point above this straight line is more preferred to the point on the straight line, and any point below the straight line is less preferred to the point on the straight line.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
Now you just repeat it. You should not stop here because it's an infinite process actually. You have to repeat. Look, there are some other budget lines. Some are parallel to each other, some are flatter like that. So you have to do this continuously. And in this way, you are getting initial point was called X. Now you are getting Z. Similarly, you may have Y. So if you join like this, say initially you are getting xy. Y is given the budget line, this one, y is the consumption point. Okay, given this budget line, y is the consumption point. So xy line, you are just getting the straight line by joining x and y, and from there you are getting another range that any point above this point is more preferred to the point on this straight line. Any point below this straight line is less preferred to the point on the straight line. Same logic you are applying for the line exit. Okay. So this is how you are getting an area. The area which is more preferred to and the area which is less preferred to. And this process you have to continue for infinite time. You have to repeat it for infinite times. Okay, you have to repeat it for infinite times so that you will get so many points, single one, so many points you will get for each and every budget line. You can draw infinite budget lines here. I can draw it, but it will be, it will be a horrified picture. Okay, so many lines will come, but you have to do it. So after doing that, you will get a single area, you will get a single stretch, a stretch, the points who are indifferent to each other. If you compare x and y, you can understand y is definitely more preferred to x. Similarly, if you compare z, z is more preferred to x because z is the point above the x, or y is the point above the y. So these points are not on the indifference curve because indifference curve is the combination of the points who are indifferent to each other, right? But z and y, they are not indifferent. Y, z is preferred to x, y is preferred to x. So the indifference curve which will pass through x should not go through y and z. Is it okay?
Ma'am, can you repeat the last line?
Yes, I'm telling you that if you try to compare x and y, if you try to compare x and z, what you can see that z and y, these 2 points are above x, right? So they have more x1 and x2. So definitely y is preferred to x or z is preferred to x. Do you agree with my point? Y
Yes,
is
ma'am.
preferred to x or z is preferred because they are above x. Okay, so if they are, so the line, the indifference curve which will go through x should not go through y and z because these points are more preferred. But indifference curve is the combination of the points who are equally preferred. You are indifferent. You are indifferent between the points. That is why it's an indifference curve. So indifference curve is a point, it is a combination of the points along which the consumer is indifferent. Okay, but if y is preferred to x, then y should not be on the indifference curve which will go through x. Similarly, if z is preferred to x, then z should not be on the indifference curve which will go through x. Is it okay?
Ma'am, one question.
Yes. Please be louder,
Ma'am,
huh?
ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, when we are taking the 2 points x and y, and ma'am, we are
Hmm.
joining it by the straight line, the
Hmm.
green line connecting x,
Hmm.
y. So, ma'am,
Hmm.
all the combination of goods which is above those green line, it is better for the consumer. So, ma'am,
Hmm.
what is the significance of the line from point y? Point y, and it is extending to the last budget line.
Oh, that may be M, A, B, C, D, whatever. Okay.
So, ma'am, it is another point.
Yes, it is another point corresponding to a new budget line, the budget line which is not drawn here.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, that line does not have any significance. It can be
No, 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 no,
perpendicular
no,
as
no. It's
well.
just the continuation of the line XY.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you can draw it because you have to draw several budget lines. And for each and every budget line, you will get a point like XYZ. And if you join those points with your Y, then you will get this type of line. This line is only differentiating the area which is more preferred to from the area which is less preferred to. That much.
So, ma'am, that line can be perpendicular as well, depending on the
Yes,
combination
yes,
of
yes.
goods.
Whatever, whatever. It is uneven in shape.
Okay, ma'am.
But what I'm trying to explain that the indifference curve which will go through x, it should not go through y. The indifference curve which will go through x should not go through z because z is preferred to x, y is preferred to x. y is not indifferent to x or z is not indifferent to x. If they are, then you will get z, x, y all on the same indifference curve. But it will not be. This point is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Okay, so this is what you have to do. Look, I have done only four. This is one budget line, this is two, this is three, this is four, but you have to do it for infinite number of times. And if you do that, finally you will get a point. Actually, what happened if you draw another budget line through this? Look, let me draw two or three more. Otherwise, you cannot understand. Look, if I am drawing another budget line like this, then you will get another point here. So that may be your M. That may be your M. Similarly, if you draw another budget, you can draw infinite. Now, look, this is another budget line. So you will go at xn. So this is how what you are doing. Actually, you are just reducing the space. X, Y, Z is a vast space, right? X, Y, Z is a vast space. You are just closing it. You are making it closer so that finally you will get some points who are indifferent to x. Here all points are preferred to x. M is preferred to x, n is also preferred to x. You are not getting the point which is indifferent to x. But if you continue this process, ultimately this range will be reduced. The range will be reduced and it may be very close to zero. And finally you will get the point who are very much indifferent to x, or we can say at a certain level they are indifferent to x. Okay, the difference is so insignificant that ultimately this point will be indifferent to x. And the same process you have to continue for this stretch as well. And this is how you will get some points who are indifferent to x. If you join all those points, you will get your indifference curve. So this is how you can get your indifference curve through Reville preference. Now tell me your problem from this diagram.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you repeat the last part once more?
Yes, now I can understand why I cannot listen you properly because the volume is low in my laptop. Okay, now it's better. Okay, what I'm telling, look, here what I'm doing, as I said, y is preferred to x, z is preferred to x, m is preferred to x, n is preferred to x. But if I am making it very close to x, so ultimately we will get some points who are very, what can I say, insignificantly different than x. Okay, the combinations will be so close to the point x that they are insignificantly different than x. And finally, the level of difference is so insignificant, you can easily say that this point and x, they are indifferent to each other. Do you get my point? You are just closing down this range. You are just closing, you are just reducing the range, which is more preferred to with which is less preferred to, by drawing so many budget lines.
So, ma'am, this will happen when we will draw budget lines which are closer to the original one.
Yes, no, not the original one. May not be. You may draw a line
Okay.
which is, because it's a curve, na? It's a curve. Indifference curve is a curve, so it is not a point. Ultimately, you will get indifference curve, that same indifference curve here as well. So for this particular point, the budget line is very much different from the original black one, right? But they are
Okay,
so,
ma'am.
the combinations are so close to x that finally you can say easily that x and that particular point are indifferent to each other. So you can join them to find out the indifference curve. So
Ma'am,
according to the Reville preference theorem, yes,
ma'am, how can we determine the green line shape meant to say the XY or
this is
XZ?
uneven. This is uneven. Look, when I am drawing that m and 1, these lines are getting more kinked, right? This line initially is xz, but when I am introducing that m and n, then it will be xn, then nm, then mz. So line is becoming kinked, and this is how you are getting that smooth curvature. Hmm.
Okay, ma'am. Now clear.
Okay, so curvature, you will get that convex indifference curve, na? So this is how you will get, after drawing so many indifferent, so many budget lines, you will get, you are getting, rather, you are getting a smoother green lines, and it will ultimately be the indifference curve. So according to the Rivel preference theorem, look, this is, it's not like 4 plus 4 is equal to 8. It's not so easy. You have to, you can understand, you have to draw the, you have to do it repeatedly. For infinite time you have to do that to get the indifference curve of this individual. But again, it is more realistic than our consumer theory approach, because as I said, again I'm repeating that it is not so easy to know the shape of the consumer's indifference curve at one glance. No one can tell you what is the shape of his indifference curve, but he can tell his preference given the income, given the prices. Okay, so from there you can find out his preference pattern or the indifference curve. But information about the indifference curve should not be given in reality. Okay, but you have to repeat it again and again and again, so that you will get the indifference curve of that particular consumer. It's very difficult to get, but you can get. Any question? Look, this diagram is also invariant. I'm doing everything from your textbook, and I'm referring the textbook as well, so that when you will read your textbook, it will be easy for you to understand. I'm not doing anything with my own. Then it will be very difficult for you to relate. So may I go to the next slide?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the weak axiom of rival preference. Before going to the weak axiom, look, this is the axiom. Why we are using the axioms? We are just trying to nullify the problem, right? We are just trying to nullify, we are just trying to avoid some problem. Say the problem is happening here. We know that problem is happening. So by the assumption, we are eliminating the problem. Say there is no problem. This is the axiom. No? Say there is no problem. Say the commodities are homogeneous. Say the individuals are identical. Say the individuals are rational. So these are all the axioms just to nullify the complexity of the real life. So weak axiom is also such an axiom. In the reveal preference, it is just axiom. Don't try to understand that, okay, this is reality. No, this is axiom. So in the real life, you may face the problem of this diagram. Look at the problem first. Then you can understand the importance of the axiom. So this is the reality. What happened? If your budget line is this green one, look, there are two budget lines. One is the green, one is the purple, right? If the budget line is the green one, as I have to type it now, so the points are going this and that, but let me explain it. Say the initial budget line is the green one. Okay, x1 x2 is on the budget line. X1 x2 is on the budget line. Okay, just a minute. Acha, no, if x1 if green budget line, forget about my last 3 or 4 sentences, huh? So if the budget line is the green one, y1 y2 is on the budget line. Okay, if the budget line is the green one, then y1 y2 is on the budget line, x1 x2 is below the budget line. Is it okay? y1, y2 is on the green budget line and x1, x2 is below the green budget line. Up to this point, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Now look at the purple budget line. X1, X2 is on the purple budget line and Y1, Y2 is below the purple budget line. Say this is the combination. Okay. Okay. Say this is the situation. Then, given the green budget line, we can say that y1, y2 is preferred to, or rather, y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2. Can I say that? Given
Yes,
the
ma'am.
green budget line, can I say that y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2? Okay. Given the purple budget line, I can say that x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2 because y1, y2 is below the purple budget line. Okay, is that okay? So my
Yes, ma'am.
statements are okay or not?
Yes, ma'am. Agreed.
Yes, you agree. Now the problem is coming. Then which one is ultimately preferred but to whom? It's a very confusing situation. Given the green one, y1, y2 is preferred. Given the purple one, x1, x2 is preferred. So what will be the conclusion? There is no conclusion. There is a, given the situation, it is preferred. Given that situation, this is preferred. So there is no such concrete conclusion. So what if the question is what is the conclusion, then you cannot give you the conclusion. You cannot give your conclusion. Okay. So that is the problem of the real life. Just to avoid the problem, we need weak axiom. So what is weak axiom? I will show you. But before that, look, if y1, y2 is preferred to x1, x2, or rather, I'm just telling you opposite. If x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2, then through weak axiom, y1, y2 cannot be directly reveal preferred to x1, x2. Thus, that problem is solved. Very simple, no?
Ma'am, can you please repeat?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you, if x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2, then it cannot be happen कि y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2. This is weak axiom. If this is true, then this is false. This is my axiom. That if this is happening, then this should not happen. This is the axiom. So by axiom, I am eliminating this problem.
But ma'am, for the first line, y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2.
Mhm. If this is true, if you accept y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2, then it never happened. X1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2.
Okay.
We are eliminating one budget line.
Yes, this is through axiom. Remember, this is through axiom. আমরা বাংলায় বলি না গায়ের জোরে করছি. So it's like that.
Oh,
মানে
It's like that. By force, we are doing this. By the force of this weak axiom, we are eliminating the opposite thing.
মানে ম্যাম যে কোনো একটাকে ধরে অন্যটাকে এলিমিনেট করতে পারবো।
Exactly. If you assume first one is true, then through weak axiom, the second one will never happen. If you assume, if you accept second one is true, then through the weak axiom, the first one will never happen. Okay. Why we are assuming that? Because we are trying to avoid the confusion, because that creates a confusion. Then which one is ultimately preferred to whom? We don't know. So just to eliminate, just to avoid this confusion, we are using the weak axiom. So let me go to the weak axiom. This is the weak axiom.
Ma'am, is it at all realistic?
Yes. If we assume, look, axiom is not the reality. Axiom is always trying to give you the answer in simple way. Reality is very complex. This is the reality. This is the reality. But as you cannot explain the reality given your knowledge, so the axiom is trying to simplify the reality. This is what we are using in axiom. No, this is why we are using the assumptions. Okay, this is the first assumption in your honors level, I think, at least in micro, when we will discuss about the perfect competition, the market structure. Huh? When we will discuss about the perfect competition, about monopoly, monopolistic, oligopoly, so many assumptions are coming. So why those assumptions will be there? Just to simplify the situation, because reality is very complex. If you want to incorporate the total reality in your analysis, you cannot analyze actually. So many positive and negative effects are there in reality. So if you try to concentrate on one aspect, you have to assume all other aspects are not there. Okay, so this is the axiom is never the reality. Axiom is used to simplify the reality. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, is the consumer, ma'am, can you please go to the previous slide once?
Which one? This one.
Previous one. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, the next one. The weak action one.
This one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, so if the consumer was initially consuming at X1, Y1, and now
Hmm.
if the budget line changes, so ma'am, from the previous slide, we came to know that the consumer would always prefer to go to a not higher indifference stock, would always prefer higher bundles of
Hmm.
X1, X2.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
he would obviously move in a upward direction rather than going to a downward direction where he chooses Y1, Y2. So ma'am,
Hmm.
isn't it very rational that he won't go to Y1, Y2?
No, no, no. Given the budget line you are choosing. Look, if the budget line is the green one, then X1, X2 is below your budget line. So that is why you are not consuming X1, X2. But given the purple budget line, Y1, Y2 is below your budget line. That is why you are not consuming Y1, Y2.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. I got it now.
So look at the weak axiom. What I am explaining from the diagram is written here in words. If read it carefully, huh? If x1 x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1 y2 and two bundles are not the same, then it can never happen that y1 y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1 x2. Look, here it is directly reveal preferred. Indirect may possible, but direct reveal preference is not possible. So, in the mathematical form, if you want to write the axiom is here. If P1 Y1 plus P2 Y2 is less than equal to P1 X1 plus P2 X2, that means given the price P1 P2, Y1 Y2 combination is below your budget line and X1 X2 is on your budget line. Okay, then only this inequality is true. And given this, if this inequality is true from our last class, we know then x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2 as x1, x2 is on the budget line and y1, y2 is below the budget line. So if this is true, then Q1 Y1, remember here the prices are changed. Q1 Y1 plus Q2 Y2 is greater than equal to Q1 X1 plus Q2 X2 is not true. This is axiom. Try to remember it. This is axiom. We are eliminating the opposite situation. Look, if the second inequality will be true, then the consumer will choose Y1, Y2 than X1, X2. Right? Because then given q1 q2 prices q1 q2, y1 y2 will be on the budget line and x1 x2 is less below the budget line. So if this inequality is true, then consumer will definitely prefer y1 y2, not x1 x2. But by assumption, we are eliminating the second inequality. It is not true. So if the first one is true, then second one will not happen. Read it again and again, then ask me your question.
Ma'am, is it random? Like we can eliminate either of the one?
Not random. Not random. Yes, yes. If this is true, then this is false. That is the reality. From reality, you have to check.
Okay.
If this one is true, then you have to assume the second one is false. If second one is true, then you have to assume first one is not happening.
Ma'am, for here, P1 is the previous price, and for the next budget
P1,
line,
P2. P1, P2 is the initial price, and Q1, Q2 something new price
yes, okay.
of the same commodity. Okay, prices are commodities are same. The prices are changing.
Hmm, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so weak axiom is in our syllabus. But you can ask me, ma'am, if there is weak axiom, then there must be one strong axiom. Yes, there is strong axiom. This is not in our syllabus, but as there is, and it is strong, you can understand. So we should know it. Nah? So what is that? Only the information I am giving, not the explanation, as it is not in our syllabus. So what is strong axiom? Very simple. It is directly reveal preferred to. But what about the indirectly reveal preferred to? If there is any indirect reveal preference, then whether the weak axiom is there? No. The strong axiom is saying about reveal preferred. It may be direct, it may be indirect, whatever it is. Okay, if x1 x2 is reveal preferred to y1, maybe directly reveal preferred to, maybe indirectly reveal preferred to, whatever. But if x1 x2 is reveal preferred to y1 y2 and they are different, then y1 y2 cannot be reveal preferred to x1 x2. So that is why it's strong. Reveal preferred is a bigger set. In under the reveal preference, there is direct reveal preference, there is indirect reveal preference. In the weak axiom, we are only concerned about directly reveal preferred. But in case of strong axiom, it is reveal preferred. So the broader one. That is why it is called strong axiom. Okay. It is, this axiom is also there, but it is not in our UGC levels. So any query from the
Ma'am, can you,
theoretical part of the reveal preference? Yes, yes.
ma'am, can you present the last slide once more?
This one. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Mhm.
I'm showing the weak axiom y1 y2 is not directly reveal preferred, but it can be
Yes,
indirectly reveal
yes,
preferred.
yes. That is what I said. I said already that y1, y2 is not directly reveal preferred, but indirect reveal preferred may happen if weak axiom is true. But if we assume strong thing, the strong axiom, if we apply the strong axiom, that will also be cancelled out. That option will not be there. This is the
Okay, ma'am.
axiom. Try to remember. This is the axiom. You can understand this is very difficult to do. This process is very difficult to do. So we need some axiom just to eliminate those simplicity, just make it simple. So these assumptions are helping us to make the thing simple. So this is the theory part in our syllabus. If it is clear, then I'm going to the problem solving part. Sometimes the problems are in your exam. The problems are coming from the rival preference. Generally, some mathematical problems are coming from the rival preference. So if it is clear, then I will go to show all those things.
Yes, ma'am, you can show.
Huh? Okay. Just a minute. Look, this is written by SKG. So if you cannot understand the handwriting, please ask. This is a question from the university question paper. Huh? I can't remember the year, but it some this type of questions are coming generally. Say the prices are P1, P2, 1, 2. Consumer demands 1, 2. And when prices is Q1, Q2, the consumer demands Y1, Y2. Okay. So P1, P2, X1, X2, Q1, Q2, Y1, Y2. So this much we need to find out whether the axiom is true or not. So the question is this behavior consistent with the model of maximizing behavior? That means whether it is consistent with, whether it is, whether it is valid if you apply weak axiom or previous preference. This is the actual question. Whether this is valid if you apply, if you accept weak axiom or previous preference. So we have to check. Now look, at P1, P2, you have to find out P1x1 plus P2x2. So it is 5. At P1, P2, you have to find out P1y1 plus P2y2, and it is 4. So 5 is greater than 4. So P1x1 plus P2x2 is greater than P1y1 plus P2y2. Now, if this inequality is true, then we can understand x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2. Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am, agreed.
If this inequality is true, then x1, x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1, y2. Fine. Now, for the another price, Q1, Q2. Now for Q1, Q2, you have to find out Q1, X1 plus Q2, X2. This is 4. And Q1, Y1 plus Q2, Y2, this is 5. So as 5 is greater than 4, so you have to write Q1, X1 plus Q2, X2 is less than Q1, Y1 plus Q2, Y2. And if this inequality is true, then the consumer will choose Y1, Y2, not X1, X2. Is it okay? Look at this inequality. Look at this inequality. If this inequality is true, that means y1, y2 is on the budget line and x1, x2 is below the budget line. So definitely the consumer will choose y1, y2. So y1, y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1, x2 given this inequality. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am, okay.
So look, so what is happening? So at P1, P2, consumer is what is the behavior of the consumer? At P1, P2, X1, X2 is directly reveal preferred to Y1, Y2, and at Q1, Q2, Y1, Y2 is directly reveal preferred to X1, X2. But if you apply weak axiom of reveal preference, it will never happen. Once x1 x2 is directly reveal preferred to y1 y2, it never happen कि y1 y2 is directly reveal preferred to x1 x2, but it is happening here. Given the information, it is there. So what was the question? Is this behavior consistent? No, it is not consistent. Given the weak axiom of reveal preference, this behavior is not consistent. Okay. Look, so it is not possible, it is inconsistent with the maximizing behavior. Any problem with this problem?
No, ma'am.
So generally these type of questions are coming. So let me show you if I have another. Just a minute. Yes, this is. No, where it is. Look at this. Look at this. This is also from any university question. A consumer has income 100. So it is given. Huh? So this is just to confuse you. 180 rupees. 180 rupees is given. For PX1, PY1, consumer chooses X1, Y1. The price is changed to PX2, PY2. And the consumer is choosing 5 and 10. Okay. Using reveal preference axioms show whether consumer's choice in these two situations maximize utility or not. That means whether it is, it is following a weak axiom of reveal preference or not. So again, you have to find out. For px1, py1, you have to find out px1 x1 plus py1 y1. So can you do that? Similar thing I have done already. Just take the screenshot and solve it. I think you can do it. Just do it. Okay, I'm giving you 5 minutes time and I'm showing it. Solve it. Is it solved?
Ma'am, is
I'm
it
done.
in Consistent.
No, inconsistent. Generally, inconsistent result is coming. In this type of problem, inconsistencies are coming. But anyway, you have to check it and you have to show it. It's a full marks is, I think it's not written here. The full marks is 6. So you have to do that total mathematics. If you go through the question papers, this type of questions are generally coming from the reveal preference or from the theoretical portion, maximum state weak axiom of reveal preference. Or what do you mean by reveal preference? This type of things from the theoretical part and from the application portion, this type of mathematics are coming. Okay. So I think
Yes,
I,
ma'am.
Ma'am,
yes.
ma'am. So in this question, there is no role of the income.
No, that is what I said. This is just to confuse you.
Okay.
Because it is not changing. Look, it is not changing. Then 180 is from the beginning to the end 180. Generally, 180 is not important here. Income is not important here. You have to check that inequality only. That P1, X1, P2, Y2, like this. So, no other things are important to find out.
Ma'am, if there is a situation that 180 is changed to like 190
No,
or
no, that
170.
also again that is more confusing. But it is no use.
Okay.
Okay. Well, look at this na. Mm, you need only this part. You need only this inequality. There is no role of income. For the first and second inequality, there is no role of income. So whatever be your income, you have to check only these two inequalities. Okay. If first is true, then second is false.
Ma'am, if the first one comes equal, means P1 Y1 plus P2 Y2 equals P1 X1 plus P2 X2, ma'am, what will happen to the second one then?
If first one is false,
Not false,
Equal.
ma'am, not equal, ma'am, not less, but equal.
equal. Okay, in that case, you are indifferent. In that case, you are indifferent between x1, x2, and y1, y2. No, in that case, second inequality may be true. Hmm. Second inequality may be true because it is directly reveal preferred. No. I'm sorry. Then also it is not true because look, it is less than equal to. So if it is less than, the second inequality is false. If it is equal to, still the second inequality is false.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
because both options are there, less than equal to.
Ma'am, if there is a situation that in the problem at P1 P2, then P1 X1 plus P2 X2 equals to P1 Y1 plus P2 Y2, and then at Q1 Q2 there is a greater than sign in. Then what will be the conclusion, ma'am?
Yes, that is what he was asking. I said then also the second inequality is false. Because look at the first inequality. Less than option is there, equality option is also there. So for both the situation, the second inequality will not happen.
Then also it is
Yes,
inconsistent.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. You cannot maximize your utility.
Yes,
So
ma'am, understood.
okay, so may I go to the next one? That is intertemporal choice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, as I don't have time, so I am in a hurry. So many things are there. So many things are there I have to cover. Look, for intertemporal, okay, forget about reveal preference. I said what is reveal preference. I solved the problem for the reveal preference and I'm giving you the reference for the reveal preference. For intertemporal choice, it is quite different from the reveal preference. It is of no relation as such. Obviously, they are related through the consumer behavior. This is another branch of the consumer behavior, nothing more. For intertemporal choice, I will refer Madala and Miller. Okay. For don't confuse. I'm giving you so many books other than your Pindak and Rubenfield, but after this, I will religiously follow Pindak and Rubenfeld. But for intertemporal choice, I will follow Madla and Miller. Okay. Now, what is intertemporal choice? Look, before that, in case of the consumer theory, when we are discussing about the consumer theory, consumer behavior, about the indifference curve, everything is like that. This is my income, this is price of X, this is price of Y. So which commodity I will choose? So we are living in today. There is no past, there is no future, everything is present tense, right? Everything is in terms of present tense. But again, this is everything is not present. We are always living yesterday, we will always live tomorrow. So these options are not there in consumer behavior, right? When we will if you can remember in your consumer theory, which we did, we just find out the budget line, we find out the behavior, shape, indifference curve, then find out the equilibrium, X star, Y star, mathematical thing, then PCC, ICC, demand curve, so many things we have done. But we never discussed about the future. We never discussed about the past. Everything is present. If you can, I don't know how many of you from the Bengali background, or you may not be. If you have any interest to read about the Bengali story, there is a story in a Birinchi Baba. So there is a the the film is also there. So it's done by Satyajit Roy. So in that case, Birinchi Baba told once, there is no present. There is no present, either past or future. এই যে যেটা চলে গেল এটাই পাস্ট হয়ে গেল, আর যেটা আসছে সেটা ফিউচার আসছে। তো প্রেজেন্ট বলে কিছু নেই, আজ বলে কিছু নেই। So but anyway, so this is his concept, whether it is true or false. So if you can go through the story, you can understand. But here, in case of intertemporal choice, we are trying to expand the concept of consumer behavior for today and tomorrow. So in case of consumer behavior theory, we know what is today, what we are doing with today. This is my income, this is my price, this is my consumption. So everything for today. But if there is any option of tomorrow, then how the consumer will choose his consumption? Okay, so this is the thing we will discuss under the intertemporal choice. Do you get the background of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, here why do not we consider past?
Yes, you can do. You can do. In that case, tomorrow will be today, and today will be the yesterday.
Okay, ma'am.
So here actually time is coming. Time is coming an important factor. Before that, there was no importance of time. Right. So in your mathematical economics also, SN ma'am will discuss about the time series. So there also you can understand time is very important for economics. That over the time, how the variable is changing. So time is very important. In case of consumer also, time is very important. Depending on the time he is getting, he will choose his commodity consumption. Okay, so that we will discuss here. Fine. So here for simplicity, we just divide the time in two periods, today and tomorrow. So you can understand it's a choice over time. It's a choice over time. So time is also a factor behind the choice. Okay, this is my structure. There are two times. One is today, which is represented by 0. Tomorrow is represented by 1. Okay. So the why not? So that not means today. Why 1 means tomorrow. Y for income and consumption is C. So here there are two things, income and consumption. And obviously, if you are going to choose over time, then that saving this saving option is coming. So this is the new thing here. Saving this saving. Because it is not necessary that whatever you are earning today, you have to consume. In case of consumer behavior, it was like that. My income is 100 rupees, so I have to spend 100 rupees because there was no option for saving or like that. But here, the saving is there. You can use your saving of today for tomorrow's consumption. Or today you can borrow so that tomorrow you will repay. So that saving, this saving option is here. Okay. So today your income is Y naught, the consumption is C naught. Tomorrow your income will be Y1 and consumption will be C1. I'm very sorry, it's C1. Just a minute. Yes. So this is your income and consumption information. Now the analysis. Let me go step by step. If there is no savings, or this saving is called actually borrowing, है ना? If there is no savings or borrowing, then Y naught is equal to C naught. That means today's income is equal to today's consumption. Whatever I am earning today, I have to consume it because no saving option is there. And Y1 is equal to C1. That means tomorrow's income will be tomorrow's consumption. But here, the theory is allowing savings or borrowing. Say, and if there is saving and borrowing option, there must be some interest rate, right? So say the interest rate is R. Say the interest rate is R. Now look, generally the saving interest rate is different than the borrowing interest rate. Right? Generally the saving interest rate is lower than borrowing interest rate. When you are going to borrow from the bank, the interest rate is quite high. But when you are deposit your money and taking interest from that money, your interest rate is very low. And the differential is going as a profit to the bank. But here again, for simplicity, we are assuming there is no profit for the bank. There is no profit for the financial institution. So the interest rate is R for saving as well as for borrowing. Up to this point, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I am giving you the option. Say, these two are the extreme case. The second and the third bullet, these two are the extreme situations. The first situation, look, what you can do today. The first option is whatever you are earning, consume it. Or you can, maximum what you can do, you are not consuming anything today. Whatever you are earning today, you just save it. You just save it. So your C naught will be 0. And Y naught is going to save. And that saving will be used in tomorrow's consumption. Okay, that saving will be used for tomorrow's consumption. So if you are doing this, that you are saving your total today's income. If you are saving total income of today, then what will be your future income? What will be your future income? So first of all, the future, that is called future wealth, W1. What is the future wealth? Y1. Y1 is what? Y1 is your future income. Okay? That you will earn tomorrow. So this is Y1. Plus, this factor is important. Y naught into 1 plus R. So if I just eliminate that bracket, then what will happen? Y naught plus Y naught into R. So Y naught is your capital which you save. And Y naught into R, this is the interest income from your saving. R is the interest rate. So for 1 rupee interest, say for 100 rupee, the interest rate is 5. So it's 5% interest. So you are saving 1000 rupees. So 1000 into 0.5. So that will be That will be 50 rupees. Okay, so this is point, not point 0.5, 0.05. 1000 into 0.05. 5% interest means 0.05. So why not into R is this. So in future, your total wealth will be your future income plus your today's savings with interest. So the second bullet is clear to you or not?
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, Y0 is today's income.
Hmm.
We get the interest rate if we put this Y0, if this income is put into the bank,
Hmm.
then we will get the interest rate. But here there is no option of savings
No, option is there.
for the
Option is
second
there.
bullet.
Yes, it is written when a person saves today's total income. You are
Okay, then
saving.
ma'am, why Y0 is also added? Because Y0 isn't there on the bank, and then we will get on behalf of that.
No, 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 no. Because tomorrow is your, your life will end tomorrow. Hmm. So you will get your capital as well as interest from the capital. It's not like what we are doing like MIS.
Okay, both we will get.
Yes, it's matured.
Yes, yes,
Tomorrow
yes.
you will get the maturity amount.
Now clear, ma'am.
Okay. So you are going to save it for 1 year only. There is nothing after tomorrow. Hmm? So why not is your capital which you will get, and why not into R is the interest from your capital which also you will get tomorrow.
Ma'am,
Hmm?
is it possible that some portion of my income will be saved and some portion will be consumed
Yes,
instead of?
yes. Obviously,
Okay,
that is possible. But as I said, this is the extreme situation that you are not going to consume anything today.
okay, ma'am.
This is extreme. If you, what is the maximum wealth you can get in future? What is the
Okay, ma'am.
maximum wealth you can get in future? This is the maximum wealth.
Okay, ma'am.
This is not the reality. Then you have to, you have to start today because you are not going to spend a single rupee today. But if you are doing that, and if you are going to save today's income totally, then for tomorrow, the wealth will be the maximum. This is the extreme situation. I'm not saying that you have to do that. This is the extreme option. Okay. The max to max, you have this much of money in your future. Not future, it's tomorrow. So point two, the bullet two, is it okay to all? Or if you have any query, please ask. Huh? Don't write in the chat box because I am not watching your chat box right now. If you have anything to ask, just ask verbally. Okay. As no questions are coming anyway, you can ask me in the next class as well. Now, I'm going to the another extreme. Let's say tomorrow you will not consume anything. You want to get maximum today. Then what you can do? You have to borrow. Today you have to borrow. How much? The money which you will earn tomorrow. That much you can borrow. Okay, you must borrow the money so that you can repay this borrowing by tomorrow's income. Do you get my point? For the third bullet, what is your objective? Your objective is to maximize today's wealth. Okay, for the third bullet, your objective is to get maximum current wealth. Maximum current wealth. So in that case, what you have to do? Tomorrow, you cannot consume anything. Today, you need the maximum. So tomorrow, this is extreme. Again, this is extreme situation. Tomorrow, you will not consume anything. So what you will do tomorrow? Tomorrow, you have to repay the borrowing which you have done today. Okay, so what is the amount of money you can borrow today so that you can repay this borrowing by your tomorrow's income? Because remember, there is an interest also. It's not so easy that okay ma'am, you can tell me okay ma'am, then just borrow y1 because you know tomorrow your income will be y1, pay it back. No, with this money you have to pay back the interest. There is an borrowing interest, so you have to pay that also. So why not is not your today's maximum borrowing. Do you get my point? If you borrow 1 rupee today, if you borrow 1 rupee today, then tomorrow you have to pay 1 plus r, right? Is this okay?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
So you have to pay 1 plus r tomorrow. What is your tomorrow's income? Y1.
Why one?
So maximum you can pay y1 tomorrow. Then with y1, how much you can borrow today? Y1
Divided by 1 plus r.
1 plus r. This is again unitary process. If you borrow 1 rupee today, then tomorrow you have to pay 1 plus r. If you write it like, okay, then for 1 rupee repay, today you can borrow 1 by 1 plus r. Tomorrow you are going to earn y1. So for y1, you will pay y1. Y1. So with y1, how much you can borrow for today? Y1 divided by 1 plus r. Okay. So this is the maximum borrowing you can do today given your tomorrow's income y1. Now ask your question.
Ma'am, can you explain the first line's explanation once more? Then I will write it.
This one?
1 to 1 plus r. Yes.
Okay. If I borrow 1 rupee today, then tomorrow I have to pay 1 plus r. Or I can say, just like that, tomorrow I will pay 1 plus r if I borrow 1 rupee today. Just opposite.
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Tomorrow I have to pay 1 plus r if I will borrow 1 rupee today. So tomorrow I have to pay 1 rupee if today I will borrow 1 by 1 plus r rupee. So the third line is tomorrow I have to pay y1 if today I will borrow y1 by 1 plus r. And that much I can pay for tomorrow because that will be my income. So y1 is the maximum money I can pay. So with this y1, today I can borrow y1 by 1 plus r. So as now my objective is to maximize current wealth, so I am going to borrow y1 plus 1 plus r. Okay, so this y1 plus 1 plus r is here. And y0 is definitely there because this is my current income. So current income plus the borrowing based on future income. This is the maximum current wealth the consumer can get. Y naught is the current income plus Y1 by 1 plus R is the maximum borrowing that the consumer can do today given his future income Y1. So this is the maximum current wealth consumer can get. Third point is okay or not?
Ma'am, can you repeat the last part that you said now?
Yes, I said Y1 is the current income plus Y1 by 1 plus R is the maximum borrowing which the consumer can do for today given his future income Y1. Okay, so Y0 plus Y1 by 1 plus R, this is the maximum current wealth consumer can get today.
Okay, ma'am.
So the second bullet is giving us the maximum future wealth and the third bullet is giving us maximum current wealth. So tell me any query from this slide. Anyone from the class, feel free and ask me. The same notations are there in Madla and Miller. And I don't know, actually I forget whether I have shared this portion with the last SEM 3 in LMS or not. If it is, then it is there. Just check the notes, class notes in LMS, you will get it from Madla and Miller. Hopefully I shared it with them. So now there is a general question. If no questions are coming from here, I am asking the question to myself. The question is why I am doing this? Why I am very much interested about future wealth and current wealth? Because I want to draw the budget line. Okay, look at this. Just a minute. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Then what is the problem with my slides? Oh, just a minute. Yes. Now look. So maximum current consumption is my current wealth. Simple. Maximum current consumption is my current wealth. So that is C naught is equal to W naught. And maximum future consumption is my future wealth. So this is C1 is equal to W1. So if you go back here, look, one is W1, one is W naught. So if you multiply W naught with 1 plus R, if you multiply W naught with 1 plus R, you will get W1. Look, if you multiply W naught with 1 plus R, then it will be Y naught into 1 plus R plus Y1. And this is nothing but your W1. So it is written here. W1 is equal to W naught into 1 plus R. So this is the relation between the maximum future wealth and maximum current wealth. W1 is equal to W naught into 1 plus R. Okay, so this is the relation. Now what we are doing actually on the okay, let me show you here. On the horizontal axis, I am measuring the current consumption, and on the future, I will take another 5 to 7 minutes. On the horizontal axis, I am measuring current consumption, and on the vertical axis, I am measuring future consumption. So that C1 and C naught. Okay, C naught is on the horizontal axis, and C1 is on the vertical axis. Now, as I said, the maximum current consumption will be W naught, that is my current wealth, W naught, which we find out this one, W naught. So this is the maximum wealth. So this is the maximum consumption I can do. So this is here. Similarly, W1 is the maximum future consumption I can do. So we get the horizontal value and the vertical value. Now you have to find out the slope. Then it is easy to draw the line. Look. You know the relationship between W1 and W naught? So W1 is actually measured on the vertical axis. W1 is nothing but your consumption option. W naught is nothing but your current consumption option. So if you differentiate like dW naught dW1, it will be minus 1 plus R. So the slope is minus 1 plus R. Now 1 is constant, R is the interest rate, is also a parameter. So 1 plus R is constant with a negative sign. So it's a negatively sloped straight line. Okay. So it's a negatively sloped straight line. So you have this budget line. For future consumption and current consumption, this is your budget line. Now look just at the midpoint. Just take the midpoint of your red budget line. So that point corresponds to income is equal to consumption, right? That point corresponds to income is equal to consumption. You are not going to save, you are not going to borrow for today as well as for tomorrow. But if you are moving here or there, that means say you are here. Say you are here. Just can you see my cursor now?
Yes, ma'am.
Say you are here. So you can understand your consumption is greater than your income. So that means if you are here, you have to borrow. If you are here, your consumption is less than your income, so you can save, which you can use for your future consumption. Okay, so look at this. These two options are there. Initial point is here. Your indifference curve is also here. The green one is your indifference curve. Corresponding to indifference curve, you have your C1 and C0. But the midpoint is like that, Y1 and Y. Oh, that should be Y0. So many mistakes. This is Y0. So you can see if you are, look, that purple one is given. That purple one is given to you, that Y1, Y0. But if your consumption pattern is such that your indifference curve is green one, then your current consumption is lesser than your income. So you can save today. And your future consumption is greater than your income. So that saving will be used in future for your more consumption than the income. Okay. Now look at this, just opposite. Again, that's Y1, Y0, these are given to you. But if your consumption is such that green one is your new indifference curve, then for today you have to borrow, but tomorrow you can repay that borrowing. So what we are getting from this analysis, we are getting that you can allocate your today and tomorrow's income among your today and tomorrow's consumption. You can save, you can dissave, you can borrow, you can repay. In this way, you can rearrange so that, look, if it is not, then what is the problem? If that saving, dissaving option is not given to you, if that time frame is not given to you, then this is your Y1 and Y0, right? So if there is no saving dissaving option, then Y0 is equal to C0 and Y1 is equal to C1. So you are on the lower indifference curve. But as that saving dissaving option is given to you, you are moving to the higher indifference curve, that is the green one. Otherwise, you have to be on this purple indifference curve, which is on the lower part. Okay, so you can ultimately, your objective is to maximize your utility, and you can do it. You can move on the higher indifference curve through this borrowings or savings option. Okay, so this is the beauty of this time frame, this flexibility. Hmm. When you are analyzing consumer behavior with respect to time, when we are relaxing the assumption and we are accepting the time in your consumer behavior analysis, you can move on the higher indifference curve at the optimum. Okay, so this is the ultimate result of this discussion. Any query?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
ma'am, can you repeat this diagram once more?
Which one? This one?
Ma'am, the last one.
This one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Say your income is y naught and your income is y1. Hmm? And there is no saving dissaving option. So that means y naught is equal to c naught and y1 is equal to c1. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Say, I'm giving you just an option. Say. So if y naught is equal to c naught and y1 is equal to c1, so you are on this purple budget line. Now, given this purple budget line, say the now this assumption is relaxed. Now you can save, you can dissave, and you have changed your consumption pattern for today and tomorrow so that your new consumption option is C not C1, this one. So through this, what you are doing actually, today you are borrowing and tomorrow you are going to dissave, or you are just repaying. Okay, you are just repaying your today's borrowing through this reallocation of your income. You are moving on the higher indifference curve, that is the green one. And this is the objective of the rational individual. Hmm. So, through reallocation of your current and future consumption, you can move on the higher indifference curve. This is possible. Why? Because saving and borrowing option is given to you. Otherwise, you cannot move to the green one. You have to stick on the purple one. Obviously, it depends on the slope. It depends on the slope of your indifference curve. If indifference curve is this flatter one, then only. If it is steeper one, then like this. It depends on the slope. That is, it depends on the preference pattern of the consumer. Okay. But if it is, you can change your consumption, you can borrow, you can save like that, so that you have the option to move on the higher indifference curve. Okay.
Ma'am, can
Yes,
you
ma'am.
explain the slope part once
Yeah.
in the previous slide?
Here the indifference curves are
No,
very,
ma'am. Minus 1 plus r, where the slope was.
yes. Here look, they are very flat, na? As compared to this one, this
Yes, ma'am.
indifference curve is a flatter one. So in this case, if you are moving on the higher indifference curve, for today you have to consume lesser than your income. Your objective is to move on the higher indifference curve. To do that, given the shape of your indifference curve, you have to save today. But if your indifference curve is like this, that is steep, and again your objective is to move on the higher indifference curve, then for today you have to borrow. So it's absolutely your decision, your preference pattern, your shape of indifference curve that matters.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you please tell where you explain the slope of the budget line part, that is minus 1 plus?
Here.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Do you need the explanation again?
Yes, ma'am. Where, how we get this minus sign? I
Minus
think.
sign. हाँ.
Okay. This future consumption by current consumption. So you have to make DC1, DC naught. Right? DC1, DC naught. And that will be minus 1 by here. One is
Ma'am, from
constant.
which equation we will get? Can you present that once?
Yes, you can go also here. You can find from here as well. No issue. Anywhere because they are all related. Y just replace y1 by y1 by sorry w1 by c1 and w0 by c0, and then find the relation dc0 dc1. This is how also you can do that. Or you can use this one.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in that slope, if we find it in terms of DC2 by DC1, we get minus 1 plus R, right? So can
Yes.
we say that it's the opportunity cost of C1 in terms of C0 in
Exactly.
terms of C1, since there is a
Yes.
trade-off?
Yes, it's a trade-off. Exactly. Right. You are right. This is opportunity because today you are saving, so you are losing the opportunity of consumption. And in exchange of that, tomorrow you can consume more than your income. So this is what we are also doing. When we are saving today, at the young age, people are very much eager to save. Why? Because in future, when at the older age, they can be safe, they can relax, they can spend it for their need, maybe medical need, maybe for their relaxation, whatever will be. But to generally people are saving at their earlier age. So it is the opportunity cost. You are sacrificing so many things today so that tomorrow your future will be very, you know, you can enjoy it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, from the equation W1 equals to W naught into 1 plus R, ma'am, uh, in that equation, if we differentiate, then means then dw1 by dw naught, it is coming 1 plus r, from where the negative sign is coming.
Which one?
Ma'am,
This one.
w1
Okay,
yes,
okay,
ma'am.
okay. I think okay, okay. Now I can understand your problem. Okay, I have the mathematical part actually for where I derived it. Just give me one class. In the next class, I will show, huh? Because I did it on my book on beside the diagram of Madeline Miller. So I will write it and I will show it in the next class so that you can understand why that minus sign is coming. That is your question, na?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
derivation
Yes, ma'am.
part is very much necessary because we can't get
Okay,
that.
fine, fine, fine. Actually, I
Yes,
did
ma'am.
it in, I have it in my Madla and Miller book, my own copy, but I will write it in the slide and I will show it in the next.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Right now, it's not possible to show you my Madla and Miller this way.
Ma'am, can you provide the reference for this book? Means the Madla Miller portion. It's
Yes,
not
it
there in
is
the.
there. As you said, it is in the LMS.
Ma'am,
No,
I
ma'am.
didn't find that part.
It's
I
not
Yes,
just
there.
ma'am. It is not there, ma'am.
Not there. You check it.
yes,
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 ma'am. Just
ma'am.
now
ma'am.
I
Just now
checked.
check it.
Oh, okay, fine. So you are getting the access. Very good. So, okay, fine. So then I will upload it in your LMS. Huh?
Okay, ma'am. And the class recording is in your YouTube channel.
Yes, yes. So now, as you are getting access, so I will definitely share those YouTube links in the LMS. Okay.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I should stop
Thank you,
here.
ma'am.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, can you explain that graph once? I'm
Which one?
facing problem in that. Ma'am, the last one you showed.
Just a minute. Just a minute. This one, I think. No, no. This one. Yes.
Yes.
Hmm. Yes. Where is your problem?
No, ma'am, the next one.
This is the last one. Or this one.
Yes, ma'am, this one.
Okay, tell me your problem.
I did not get this graph.
Okay, look, say you are the consumer and your preference pattern is like that. Your indifference curve is this purple one. Okay, because
Yes, ma'am.
the position, the slope of the indifference curve, these are different for different individual. So you are an individual, so that your indifference curve is this purple one. Fine. Now given this purple one, as this purple one is intersecting that red line, where is my pointer? Yes, as this purple indifference curve is intersecting this red line at this point, so this is your income y1, and this is your that should be y0, and this is y0. So many places I have written y1 in place of y0. So this is y0 and this is y1. As there is no option for saving and dissaving, that y0 should be your c0 and y1 will be your c1. But you, as a rational individual, is always trying to maximize your utility. And say now that restriction is removed. Now the option of saving borrowing is given to you. So now you are changing your consumption pattern and you are moving on the higher indifference curve. It is on the blue one. It is tangent to your budget line. So it is the optimum consumption pattern. Now, if you compare your optimum consumption pattern, you can find out that your today's consumption has reduced. So today you are saving and tomorrow you are spending your savings. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
this is
Okay, ma'am.
how you are maximizing your utility.
Yes, ma'am, understood. Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Hmm?
so today I am saving some portion of today's income, not the
Yes.
whole income.
No. Whole is the extreme situation. We
Okay.
derived it just to find out the value of the intercept, horizontal and vertical. Otherwise, I cannot draw the budget line. This is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
extreme situation, but you must go for the combination. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So I stop recording. So in the next class, actually,